Welcome to Film2Field Case Studies, where we sit down with players, coaches, and football professionals to break down the lessons, habits, and study processes that drive success on and off the field. Today's case is with Isaiah Stewart, former wide receiver for the University of Pittsburgh.
Isaiah Stewart, I met you as Zay. Walk me through your
Mm.
earliest experiences with playing ball and your football career.
Um, well, I grew up playing in New Jersey, and my dad is my hero. And he pretty much got me into football like when I was young. And he was actually drafted to the Seahawks. He played football for Iowa, number one running back in the country, and just being next to greatness and learning from greatness wanted me to be just like him. So I grew up wanting to play football, wanting to be like my dad. And I think that inspiration took me to the next level. And, football, I feel like shapes almost every athlete in life. I feel like, especially growing up in New Jersey, where I became my high school's like all time leading receiver. And I had the opportunity to play, D1 football, which not every athlete gets to do.
For sure.
And at Pitt, I was surrounded like you go into I think I'm getting a little off topic a little bit, but I think you go into a Division 1 program and you think you're that guy. And little do you know that everyone is that guy. Everyone's that guy. So, I just being surrounded by, athletes like myself, and along with just having that discipline and that passion of loving that pigskin, because that's where it comes down to. You fall in love with that pigskin. And it was just the passion and being and falling in love with the game. So that's where I think it starts from.
What so
And
you talked to him about like you broke records in college or in high school and stuff. What was
yeah.
one of those first times that you knew you were that guy in high school?
Um what yeah, being an all-time leading receiver at my high school, I found out I was that guy when because I was playing offense and defense. Playing offense and defense is not easy, but at the same time, like you have to be a leader on both sides of the field. You have to know the plays as well as do film for the offensive side and then the defensive side. So there was this one game where it was like, and I'm also doing special teams. So it's like being the leader, the head captain, where other players are looking at you as like, oh, where do I gotta be, or like what should I do? And then as well as leading in tackles, leading in receiving yards, and just being that leader in the locker room, I feel like is it just goes to show that oh, you're that guy. You officially like, oh yeah, you're different. If other players and the coaches are relying on you to make a big play, be clutch, and stats will speak for themselves. But I think that being offensively, defensively, and special teams, like making an impact on a team, it makes you that guy and it separates you from everybody else. So
For sure.
that's what I would say. That made me, and then getting into Pittsburgh, because I'm from Jersey. Then you go to Pittsburgh, and it's like, oh yeah, everybody's that guy.
No, that's probably one of those ways that you definitely, if you see whenever boys is calling different teams like special teams, kickoff team, you still on the field.
Yo,
Offense,
yo,
you still on the
and,
field. Defense, you still on the field.
and it's crazy. It's crazy because like at Pitt, I'm surrounded by like talent like Kenny Pickett, Jordan Addison, Kalijah Kancey, Sabase Dennis, B. Hill, Brandon George, like Pat Jones, Paris Ford. I'm coming in and I'm like, yo, these guys are dogs, yo. And I'm
Uh-huh.
over here thinking that I'm like, all right, let me just get on special teams because clearly I'm that guy, but like special teams is probably the most important piece going into Division 1 football. If you're not like getting in rotation or anything like that, special teams is like, yo, this is my, this is how I'm gonna get in. You know what I'm saying? Get touch it. You know what I'm saying? So even in that, um, it's definitely a different level. High school is cool. The speed at that D1 level is different. You know, like you gotta be on it. You
That's
gotta
interesting
be.
that you even say that because the interview I just did was with a special teams coordinator. And one of his ways that he got on the field was strictly special teams. And one of the ways I got on the field in college was special teams. Because, like you said, when you get to college, the speed is faster, the dudes are stronger, the game plan are more complex. So it takes like a little bit of a kind of a catching up phase. But special teams is the same. Like if you want kickoff, you want kickoff. And if you make a name for yourself, that's kind of like your way to build confidence and get in the door. I want
Man,
to
no
go
doubt.
I want to go back to your influence. You talked about your pops. What were some
Mhm.
ways that your dad? I mean, I know you watched him as a hero and playing, but what were some of those conversations that you had with him that helped shape your development?
I would say adversity. I think adversity is defines a lot of athletes today. And I think one of the things that he taught me was, and I talked to you about this before, is football is not who you are, it's what you do. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that he taught me. And adversity, like every other athlete, the best ability is availability.
Hmm.
So staying healthy and having, that process of how you train, how you get up in the morning, what you eat, it matters. And I had 3 knee surgeries that changed my perspective on football. And while you're injured, you lose the ability to contribute physically. So you have to find other ways to help the team.
Hmm.
So I think you become more engaged in meetings, in film study, mentoring younger players, and understanding that the game, looking back, and then you understand to appreciate football beyond making big plays that
Yeah,
I'm used to making. So I feel like adversity really is a lot that what he had taught me, and I can't appreciate him enough. So yeah,
that's
that
dope.
definitely.
That's dope. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to have somebody with you going through and teaching you about adversity, but you had like real life experiences. Can you talk to? I know you had a conversation with me about your knee surgeries and some of the like setbacks that you had. What were some of those
Mhm.
ways that you worked your way out of those mentally, or you kept your personality or your emotions stronger or higher during those moments of adversity?
Well, I learned to rely on um God. I got really into my Bible. I'm not gonna lie. Like I got really into leaning on the word, as well as just consistently, when talent isn't disciplined, or like if you're not preparing or like creating that confidence within yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because football mirrors life, because adversity isn't is like adversity is guaranteed, you know what I'm saying? So
For
I
sure.
think that when you rely on, God, and you put him as the foundation of what you walk through, what you go through, think that it makes it easier in a way. Because my dad is also a pastor, so
That's dope.
he looks to, the Lord in a lot of things, and not, if not a lot, then everything, you know what I'm saying? So I follow his footsteps. I'm a preacher's kid, I'm my dad's son, so like, I look to him for some advice, and he looks to the Lord. So I do the same thing.
That's
So
for sure.
whenever I'm struggling, or if I'm like caught up in my head too much, or mentally, even back when I was playing football, like if I dropped the pass, or if I was down or thinking negatively in my head too much, I just pray, or talk to God, because he's never gonna leave you. That ball is gonna hit the ground, the ball is gonna go, but Jesus, he's not going nowhere. So I rely on the man upstairs always.
That's what's up, Zay. Because I mean, for me personally, it was like that too. Just you got to find something outside of the ball to like ground your feet in, whether that be your relationships with your family, your friends, If you got kids and you're coaching, that's something too. But so many times the game can humble us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So finding those ways to like build that confidence back up and everything. So we I gotta tell everybody we met during Kids Strong. We met during
Yeah, we
Kids
did.
Strong.
Yeah, we
Uh,
did.
it's a little, and for those who don't know, it's like an American Ninja Warrior with lessons built in for kids from ages
Yeah, it
like
is.
babies to 11 years old. That's where we met at, man. So where'd
Swear.
that passion, and I know you're trying to get into it too, where'd that passion for teaching come from, and being around younger
Yeah.
kids?
I think that I always loved being around kids, like I grew up in camp. I'm always around kids. I was doing football camps at Pitt, like I've always been around kids. And with Kids Strong, me being as a kid and wanted core memories. And I
Yeah,
think that being around kids, I could create core memories just being around them, as well as like it teaches me discipline, as well as like you have to watch film for Kids Strong. Like you have to watch these programs before. So it's like film study is where games are really won. So it's like going back and forth to that. And then as well as the athletic ability matters and the preparation separates everything.
for sure.
And I was looking at it like, all right, cool. It's like watching film before, because at Kids Strong, you got to learn these programs before even performing in front of these kids and creating these core memories. But at the same time, it's like, all right, could show off my athletic ability. I'm jumping over these chairs, jumping over the glass. Like I'm over here doing cartwheels and stuff, just being myself. And it's like, all right, I'm showing these kids the athletic ability that I have. I'm having fun, as well as, creating an environment where I could be myself, showing confidence and instilling that into these kids. And it's no other better feeling to see the smiles on their face, and they're like, "Coach, you're the best. You're the best coach in the world, Coach
Yeah,
Zay."
that's
I'm
dope.
like, you know it, baby.
Dude, and I
And then the
mean,
parents, as well as the parents, like they start to build a bond with you, and it's dope. It's dope. It's cool,
yeah.
man. So
And you
yeah,
caught me as soon as I started going there, man. I was like, "Who's that dude over there? He's got more. He got energy. He got a nice vibe." And then we actually had a couple times where we worked together, and the parents came back and was like, "Man, that was the best class we ever went
best
to."
class we ever had. we was we
So we
was
had
kicking
fun,
butt
man.
for real.
All right.
Yeah, it was
So
cool.
we learned a little bit about who Isaiah Stewart is, behind the
Mm.
field. Let's get back into the processes of your film study and everything. I
Mhm.
want you to take me back through like your game prep. How did your routine evolve from high school to college? Because you said you got around some people that were doing it at a different level. So how did your game evolve as well?
Well, as a receiver, I wasn't just watching like my routes. I studied corners footwork as well, like safety rotation, linebacker depth, blitz indicators, how defensive coordinators disguise coverages. Like you got to learn all this. So it's like I'm a receiver, but at the same time, like I'm learning defense as well, like the
For
coverages. You know
sure.
what I'm saying? Like the more you watch film, the slower the game becomes. So I think that with with learning the receiver position, you gotta, as well as it goes hand in hand with learning the defense some positions for real. Because if you got a corner that's up on you pressing man, you're not gonna your release is gonna be different. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If he plays back, your release is gonna be, you know what I'm saying? But you always gotta stack on top or play his leverage. It just depends on how you go about it. So I think that with being a receiver, it comes with learning defense.
For sure.
So
And you even
I think
have go ahead, I'm my fault.
no, you good, you good. And it's like damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. But I think yeah, go ahead. I forgot what I was gonna
I
say.
was
What were
just
you saying?
gonna if you get a corner, week one, you may see a corner that press coverage, but he uses a different technique. He uses a scooch step, or he's a patient corner,
Yeah.
or he's an aggressive jab corner. So the releases that you pull out in week one might not work for week two when you see a corner that plays soft man, or if he has a heavy outside leverage because they play quarters or something like that. So it's actually the fact that you said that you got to learn defenses and study corners goes
Mhm.
hand in hand with like how important it is that your off-field preparation changes. Um, Oh, that
No
was
doubt,
good.
and
That was
as
dope.
well as that, like I had three receiver coaches. I had three receiver coaches at Pitt. So it's like the first, like the one that brought me to Pitt wasn't there. Like my following 3 years. So it's like I had to adjust. I had to learn the different techniques, and I had my first one was Coach Beatty.
Okay.
My second coach was Coach Marion. He's on Colorado right now with Deion Sanders. He was, I think he was my favorite. He was my low key my favorite. Coach Marion was a fun coach because he ran the go go offense. He had the
Yeah,
go
yup.
go offense. And the my last one was Coach Underwood. He's on the Tennessee Titans, I think, right now. He's in the NFL coaching somewhere, but all three different types of receiver coaches, you know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying? So it's like from going to high school, getting coached like Zay, run a slant, Zay, do a go, Zay, do a hitch. And then it's in the huddle, it's like Isaiah go, Isaiah hitch, Isaiah slant, Isaiah fade, Isaiah seam. I was getting the calls. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get open. It's no problem.
Yeah.
I'm going into a whole system where it's like, you want me to do flood? You want me to do the dagger concept? I gotta make sure middle field's open, middle field closed. I gotta read like it was so different. It was so different. So different.
Oh, that's dope, man. Because I mean, Brendan Marion was one of those. When I became a receiver coach, he was one of the guys that I watched to kind of emulate off of. I
Mhm.
think he's one of everybody's favorite coaches. That's why
Nah,
he's had so much.
he's the funnest coach for
That's why
sure.
he had so much success. Because I mean, he went from Pitt to Texas to UNLV, and now he's at
Yeah.
Colorado. The
Yeah.
dude is legit, and he had a great playing career as well.
Mhm.
Um, what is something that I know you had three different coaches, but what's something that was universal between all of them?
Time. Meetings. Oh man, you cannot you had to be at least five. If the meeting was at, let's just say the meeting was at 7 a.m.,
Yeah,
you have to be at the meeting 10 minutes prior, or at least 15. Because if everybody's coming 5 minutes before, you would have to hold yourself to another standard in 10 minutes before. You know what I'm saying? You can't be late to no meetings. And I think that's what disciplined the receiver room the way it did, because you show up the way you show up to games. So it's like, all right, if you're gonna be late to the meetings, you might just don't show up to the games.
yeah,
Even in the classroom, they wanted us to, our classroom stuff had to be set in order for us to get on the field. It was very important to where they show education. Make sure you get your, you know what I'm saying, your education. Make sure the classroom stuff is accounted for. Make sure, because life, it's bigger than football. You know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? So they were all on the same accord with make sure the classroom stuff was accounted for, and then make sure you were on time for meetings. So I feel like that discipline really was good to have with everybody. Like
For
that wasn't
sure.
with just the receiver coaches. That was with all the coaches. So that
So,
discipline. And if one cat was late, if one cat missed, everyone got penalized. So everyone's running. So
yeah.
you didn't want to be that one person to be late. You did not want to be that one person to be late to a
And you
meeting or
didn't want to
anything
be the
like
one
that.
person that didn't call. Like, why didn't you call Zay? We had a
Yeah.
meeting at 7. Why didn't you call him to get into the meeting?
Yeah.
How did you balance all that? Because I mean, you talked about how it was, hard to kind of transition. How did you balance all
Yeah.
of the academics, the new play styles, the new play calls?
Oh my God. It was difficult at first. I'm not gonna lie. Being like traveling,
Hmm.
and then on top of getting your classwork done. I'm not gonna lie. I had, some girls would, say, "Can I do your homework?" I'm like, "Yeah, girl, come on." You got to take
uh,
advantage. You got to take advantage sometimes. But I balanced it really well. I started to. At first, it's not easy, but you start to get a flow. You start to get a system where it's
yeah,
like, all right, I'm gonna do this day. I'm gonna knock this out. I'm gonna do my schoolwork. I'm gonna study this day, and then it's just gonna become second nature. And then you start to travel, and then you come back, and then you tell your teacher like, um, always email your teacher though. For the kids listening, email your teachers and your professors. It's very important. let them know is communicate, communicate, communicate. So I was very communicative with my professors and letting them know that I might hand this assignment in late. And yes, that's how I handled it for
Yeah, and if you communicate, I mean, they can't say nothing if you say something first. Like, yeah, I handed this assignment in late, but I told you guys that we're going to, I don't know, Virginia Tech on Thursday.
Virginia Tech or Syracuse, right? Like they will be so understanding if you're an athlete, especially if they love sports. Oh my gosh, you can get away with a lot, kid. Yeah, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, just email your professors.
But you got to communicate, because if you don't
Yeah.
communicate, then it's not
Oh
going to
yeah.
go
No.
well. I
No,
actually
not at
want to,
all.
I want to backpedal a little bit, Zay. What was your
Mm.
recruiting process like? And I know, like it's changed. The landscape of recruiting has changed for high schoolers now. But what was your
Sadly, yeah.
process like?
Honestly, it was my dad that helped me throughout the whole process. And I couldn't have done it without him because I was really focused on just rehabbing because I did tear my ACL my senior year after 5 games. And then after that, I was just rehabbing, focused on rehabbing. Doozy came to my school, Turbo, and they were, you know what I'm saying, they were still looking out for me. So I was just rehab. My dad was literally in the process of everything. And then the what you say, the recruitment now is so crazy. I think it's changed so much because of NIL. And I think NIL has a big chokehold on a lot of these kids. And it's like if you're not a 5 star, you're is hard to like, because it's like, why? If I'm a coach, I'm gonna be looking at the transfer portal before I'm looking at, high school. You know, at least like, come on. There's a lot of great athletes in the transfer portal, especially now. So I feel like it's making recruitment harder for high schoolers, which was
For
I was
sure.
blessed. I was blessed to where it's like it's not as it is now. But I
Yeah.
feel like I would have been fine because I was a three star, 3.5, 4 star, and I I truly feel for some of these athletes now because the recruitment process is a lot tougher. It
Yeah.
is, and it sucks to see. But I feel like my process was a lot different than it is now. But I am blessed to be, saying, because I was either going to go to Temple. I wanted to stay somewhere near close to home. So I was thinking about staying at Temple or playing defense at Central Michigan.
Yeah.
But I was also recruited like to play defense. That's why I also came to Pittsburgh because I was gonna play both sides of the ball at Pitt for real. So
That's dope. That's
yeah,
dope.
it was cool. It was cool times. But yeah, the recruitment now is crazy. Too crazy. Too crazy. I would hate to play. I wouldn't say I would hate to play high school now, but it's wild.
It's
It's
real
wild.
competitive. And then, like you said, you feel for some of the kids that are coming out, because college teams, first of all, they only got a certain number of scholarships that they are offering to kids, like across the board. And half or
Mhm.
more than half of those are going to people in the transfer portal because, as a coach in a program, this kid, I'm going to take a chance on this kid that's been in college, that's gone through some ups and downs, that has improved their body overall. Now, like, he might be more ready to play than an 18-year-old out of college, so, or out of high school. So
Mhm.
it's a lot different.
No
Um,
doubt.
you've already done an amazing job. Thanks for joining me today, Zay. I still got a couple questions for you that goes back into the process of film study, right?
Okay, bet.
So film to field, whenever I grade the film is 5 categories: play IQ,
Mm-hmm.
technique,
Technique.
physicality,
Mm-hmm.
right? Athleticism,
Correct.
finish, and effort. So those are the 5 categories I look for, and it changes slightly between positions. So like a quarterback, play IQ may be coverage recognition. A lineman, play IQ may be you having the correct block scheme or identifying the front. And like you said, for a receiver, it may also be identifying the coverage or the leverage of DB that's on you. We're gonna go
Mm-hmm.
like rapid fire through these questions. All right.
Okay, bet.
In each category, I just want you to tell me or define it for me and what it looks like to you. So let's start first. What does play IQ look like for a wide receiver?
I think, okay, you over here. All right, bet. Great IQ, like physical traits. Like you just want me to say like some physical traits?
Mental, you can say physical and mental, because when you said let's see, you got dagger, or you have a press DB this week, or you have a team that's heavy cover 3 or heavy cover 4.
Okay,
How
yeah.
does play IQ come out whenever you're going through your
So
routes?
so I think football, I think player IQ is like understanding why things happen instead of simply memorizing plays. You feel me? So I
Hmm.
think it's recognizing concepts and anticipating adjustments. Like I think that knowing what the defense is trying to accomplish and making decisions before the snap. So I feel like great players don't just react, they anticipate. You feel
Yeah,
me? So I think that's IQ. Boom.
anticipate, my boy. Let's go technique for a wide receiver. What does good technique look like?
Good technique. I would say it depends. I think it depends on who the receiver is. Now, like Tariq Hill, his technique is straight speed. You can't coach speed,
For real.
So I feel like it depends on, as a receiver, it depends on what your ability is. Like mine was adjusting to the ball. You feel me? If the ball's in the air, I'm gonna adjust to it the best way possible. I can grab it out the air. You know what I'm saying? So depending on the receiver, I feel like your greatest asset is what is to be your best ability. You feel me?
You no, you actually you hit on what I wanted you to hit on, because I think when people talk about technique, they say like, hey, it's all the same, and it really isn't. Like if you're a smaller receiver or quicker receiver, your technique may look different than a 6'2", 6'3" receiver as well. How about let's go to physicality. What is physicality? Define that for me in a receiver.
Physicality is no weakness. No weakness. So you going if you you got to be physical. If you're a receiver, you got to be physical. I think that's not even a question. You can't duck smoke. There's no ducking smoke. So if a safety's coming down, you got to pick. Mainly as a receiver, if it's an inside run, you have to go straight to the safety. So it's like there's no shying away. You run full speed, and you gotta meet contact and contact. You know what I'm saying? You gotta oppose your will on another player. And I fear God. I fear God. I don't fear no man. So that's what I think. That's what being physical
Right.
is. And you make me want to put on some pads, and you know what I'm saying? Like
You see that? Look, we got inside zone. I'm the slot receiver. I know you're fitting. So like we're gonna
you
meet at 8
gotta
yards.
fit. And especially if the outside linebacker there's a run, or you gotta fit. Like it's no I fear God. I fear God. I ain't fearing no man.
All right, let's go to athleticism. And like you said, this may change, but like what does it look like as a receiver, or what traits speak to a athletic receiver?
I think explosion. I
Uh-huh.
think change of direction. I think speed as well. Um, you got to be coachable. You have to be coachable because there's not a lot of coachable receivers that can you use what they teach you.
Yeah.
Consistency, you have to be competitive. I think you have to love the preparation before getting onto the field. I think football takes intelligence and as well as discipline. So those are some traits. I can go on and on. Just
All right, that's cool. Rapid fire. We got one more section. Okay, it's finish and effort, and I think this is one of my most important ones and one of my favorite ones to talk about. Finish and effort. What's that look like to a receiver?
a finish and effort. Well, if you wanna, you're only it's gonna take hard work. Think that's hard work. And if you don't want to work hard to get to where you want to be, why complain about where you are now? So think if finishing an effort, you don't have that hard work mentality, then why are you complaining about where you want to be? Or you're like looking at other people as, you know what I'm saying? Dang, I want to be there. Nah,
Just
get
get
there.
there. Get there.
Get there. You feel me?
Get there. So finishing effort is like literally putting in the effort, and it doesn't have to be during the play. I think a lot of kids and a lot of players think that game time is when you put that effort in. Like I'm gonna turn
Yeah,
this I'm
bro.
gonna turn the switch on. And then just know,
Yeah,
like, you
no.
have to approach everything with that same effort. Like you talked about, the meetings, the classroom, your families, your recovery, nutrition, all that stuff has to be approached with this like 100% effort, because then it'll show up on the field on Saturdays or Friday nights. Um, I got two more questions, Zay. I got two more questions.
Mm.
I appreciate your time and
You know, I got you. I
everything.
got you for sure.
What was so like you talked about a little bit about your film study habits and what you learned from your all three of your position coaches. What was your routine to really hone in on the film and make sure you were mentally prepped as best as you can during the game week?
Um, can you repeat the question one time? It cut out a little bit.
What was your preparation routine for game week?
You you said prep. Hold up, it's cutting out for some
Hey,
preparation before game week. Preparation for game
yeah,
week.
yeah. So like, what was your prep routine? What that look like?
Oh, okay. Um.
Don't worry, I'll edit everything out.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know you're gonna have to probably edit. It cut out on my end a little bit.
For sure.
Preparation for before a game. I would always. I feel like stretching, and getting your mind right before. So like getting what you have to be done, like so schoolwork done. You know what I'm saying? Making sure all that's done so you don't really have anything else on your mind before. I think stretching, rolling out, making sure your body's right, drinking water, staying hydrated, as well as eating right, eating whatever you need to do to prep, as well as listening. Like I always listen to music to that gets me going, you know what I'm saying? Like so I always have my one or two songs that are like, all right, and I was an old school type of cat, so I'm listening to throwbacks like that make me stay up,
That's
stay
what's up.
positive, you know what I'm saying? So like I think that prep beforehand, and sometimes being around athletes that go over some film as well, like some of the receivers that go over it, being in that atmosphere of uh winning, and you know what I'm saying, staying positive with the cats around you. So yeah, I think prepping that way, mentally beforehand, it goes a long way.
What was that film sessions like with those athletes and your teammates? What were those film sessions like? What did y'all look for?
It's very competitive. It's very competitive being, because then it's like, all right, did you know this? What coverage are they playing? If you don't know it, then they know it. It's like, aha, got you, got you. And then as well as like just being around cats that do watch film, it's like it's becomes a second nature part of learning different concepts, different schemes. And as well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It definitely froze, but I can still hear you.
Okay, yeah, because I'm telling you, it's cutting out. But yeah, just being in that mentality of other athletes from different places like Florida, Georgia, you know what I'm saying? You got cats from Pittsburgh still too. But like just being on that same page where we can all like talk about be on one accord with everything, you know what I'm saying?
That's for sure, man. One more question, Zay. It's a closing tradition that I got on the podcast, and that's, what is a book from your life or your? I know you talked a little bit about the Bible and everything, and you can go back into that if you want to. But if you have another book that has impacted you on or off the field.
A book. I wouldn't say so much a book. I'm not gonna lie. One of the books that I've read was Dr. Seuss. It was One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. And I'm not gonna lie, that why you laughing? Why you
That's
I'm being
my
so for
boy.
real.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it,
no,
man.
no, because I feel like it teaches you, like it's more than you're waiting, because one of the parts is like waiting for a train to come, a bus to come, a plane to go, the mail to come, the rain to snow, waiting for the go to go. It's like it starts to rhyme, it starts rhyming, but at the end of the day, you look at it like, all right, success starts with sucks. And that's what I got from reading Dr. Seuss, because I'm not gonna lie, the rhymes was booty. The rhymes was low key. The rhymes was like kids bop. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the book, it teaches you a lesson. It teaches you a lesson. So I thought that, you know what I'm saying, success starts with sucks, and like relating this to the field, it's like I'm not gonna be the best. I'm not
Right.
gonna start off being the best. I'm gonna suck. I did suck. I'm not gonna lie. When I first got, I'm like, I thought I was good. Nah, I wasn't. And you got to be real with yourself. So being successful, you have to. It's gonna suck. So success starts with sucks, and I've got that by reading Dr. Seuss.
Bro, that is gonna
Honestly,
be the best clip ever because it's so true.
can you not see me? Am I cutting out? Am I cutting out?
No, you're frozen. You're frozen. If you turn off your camera and turn it back on, it might work. There you go. Yeah, now it is. But that's good. Definitely going to be the dopest clip because you took something that's a child's book, but you're absolutely right. You got to crawl before you can run, or you got to crawl before you
Yeah.
can walk before you can run. And everybody forgets about being weak at something, especially in our like social media, instant gratification type of landscape and world that we live in. Everybody thinks that everybody's an expert overnight. And it's like, nah, you're going to suck on Tuesday so that you could be better on Friday. You know what I mean? So,
Mm.
bro, you that was a great way to say it, but you hit on a great point, man.
Man,
So
I
y'all
read that
boys
book. I
need
read
to.
that book. Man, I read that book. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Man, Dr. Seuss was my bro. What? I'm not gonna lie, the rhymes was weak, but at the same time, it teaches you like, yo, success starts with sucks, and I learned that, and you could correlate that with to the field, bro, for real, because it's like you start, you don't start being the best. No one
No,
starts being the best. You
absolutely
have
not.
you have to lose, but those losses turn into lessons, and those lessons eventually create that success for you on the field. So shout out to my man Dr. Seuss for real. Like,
Shout out to Dr. Seuss. I think that's the great place to end it. Zay, thank you for hanging out with me today on Film to Field Case Studies.
shout out to you, man. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Field to Field. You know what I'm saying? You might have to use the Zay Too Much, one of my songs as your credits for. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be hard.
Hey, let's do it. Swear to God, let's do it.
Nah, I appreciate you though. I appreciate you for taking your time and asking me these questions. This was dope. This was fire, bro.
Thanks for watching this episode of Film to Field Case Studies. If you found value in today's conversation, a summary can be found in the show notes. Subscribe and share it with another athlete or coach, and we'll see you in the next case.